Hi there, this is Dustin Warnke and welcome to this segment of Gun Tales. Today I'm going to be talking about advanced rifle cleaning, and not basically how to clean a rifle, but some do's and don'ts that I see a lot of folks in the firearms community have issues with. And I'll go over that with one of my favorite firearms I have before you. This is a Remington 742 Woodmaster. And it is one of my favorite guns of all times because it is a family heirloom. This gun was actually handed down from my grandfather to my dad and handed down from my dad to me. So it's one of those types of firearms. And this is actually chambered in 308. Many like it out there have surface rust. I've seen at gun shows. There's a few of these at just about every gun show I go to I see. But surface rust, most of them are chambered in 30-06. And very few of them have the ebony fore-end tip and the checkering and that kind of stuff, which is what I love about this particular rifle. So anyway, this is a family heirloom. I want to take care of this and pass this on to my children and grandchildren and so on and so forth when they get old enough to shoot. So for that reason, what I'm going to talk about today are some do's and don'ts. And most all of us learned how to clean a gun from going to the sporting goods store and going to, kind of do the normal thing you normally do when you've got to buy a rifle cleaning kit and go buy the regular rifle cleaning kit. I have no problem with whomever makes these, but these are the particular rifle cleaning kit, just an average one you'd find at the store, and they're fine. They have patches, they've got bore brushes and patch holders and everything like that in there that you need to clean about just about any kind of caliber. The one thing that they have I do not like are the three-piece cleaning rods. Most of them used to come steel like this, which is just a regular metal rod that's three pieces. I just have this one setting up for cleaning pistols and that kind of stuff that don't require a lot of barrel work and where I don't have to worry about marring the bore. But the main reason I brought this along is this is actually one that I got on a newer rifle kit, and this is a brass cleaning rod, which is a little bit better, but still not my final choice for cleaning a firearm. The reason is steel and brass is a little bit nicer on rifle barrels, but whenever you put steel against other steel when you're dealing with cleaning a rifle barrel, you can get some barrel wear, you can get all kinds of issues with your crown, especially if you had to clean a gun like this, and that's why I brought this gun, because it's semi-automatic. You have to clean it with the action open and with cleaning it from the muzzle down to the breech. And certainly you want to try to clean from the breech to the muzzle as much as you can, and that's just kind of a general rule of thumb. But one thing that a lot of times a lot of people forget is when you're cleaning here, these rifle three-piece rods can get unscrewed and can catch on to the sides of the barrel, which just grates on my nerves to even think about that. And then you also have the issues of steel, especially scratching the inside of the rifle barrel. And there's been one firearms company I saw a commercial on years ago of a guy pouring sand into the muzzle of his rifle barrel, and the whole point is, hey, you wouldn't do this to a rifle. Why are you cleaning with a steel rod? So what's come out subsequent to that by a different company and different companies, because there's several that have firearm cleaning instruments out there, is the one-piece coated cleaning rod, and that's what I own, and I use this for firearm cleaning jobs where I absolutely have to have a cleaning rod. So basically that's a better choice in that regard. If you do need a cleaning rod and do need to run a bore brush heavy up and down the barrel, the cleaning rod that's coated is not going to scratch the sides of the barrel, which is important, and also is going to be nicer on the crown, which is again the last thing that your bullet will see as it exits your rifle. So the crown is important, and I've seen plenty of rifles and owned a rifle or two that's had crown damage inside the crown and barrel damage right at the crown, which is going to affect accuracy tremendously. I had a Yugoslavian Mauser that was actually cleaned with a steel cleaning rod back in the Serbian days, probably when the soldier had it, and who knows, when or what that gun went through, but it had some crown damage and accuracy issues because it was cleaned with a one-piece steel cleaning rod that was not coated. So brass is better, steel's a no-no in my humble opinion. Coated is best if you're going to use that. What's even better though, what's even the far best, is going to be if you get you a carbon fiber rod, and there are a couple of different manufacturers that make those, but coated rod, one piece at the very least, in my humble opinion, if you're going to use a cleaning rod. That brings me to something else. As you're cleaning, another option is a bore snake, and there's a couple of companies that make bore snakes out there. This one is a Hops, I believe, bore snake, chambered in 308, or not chambered, but the size is a 308 bore snake. And I have one for my 22, I've got one for the 270, I've got one for, you can even get them for shotguns and that kind of stuff as well. But basically it just goes into the top of the, you just drop this little brass part down here into the actual breech, run it into the chamber of the rifle, and it runs out to the crown. At the end of the muzzle, you pull it straight through, just like you pull through, you know, anything else, any other kind of instrument. I'm a musician, so this is very similar. I always equate it to cleaning a flute or a clarinet, because you're going through a pipe, basically, in a barrel, and basically cleaning out the inside of it. What it does is gives you a little bit of a brass bore brush on the tip of it here. What I typically do is we'll spray some cleaning product on the top of that area before you get to the actual bore brush area, and that bore brush over time can wear down. So sometimes if you need a heavier, especially if you've done some heavy shooting, it's okay to use a standard one-piece cleaning rod, preferably carbon fiber or coated, to go through there and work some of that loose before using one of this. But I found the bore brush to be the most effective, rather, on getting all the way through this and cleaning it effectively and efficiently and quickly as well. Very fast way to clean a rifle is with a bore brush snake like this. So basically just run it through there a couple of times and then run a patch or just put a little bit of extra oil on the tip of this or the end of this. As you run it through one last time, you'll be in good shape, and that will take care of your rifle. Another thing that I've started using lately is one of our other sponsors. This is the Q-Max company, Q-Max with two X's. Q20 Blue is their water displacement, rust preventer, and lubricant for firearms. I use that over the entire bluing of the firearms just because I love to keep my rifles rust free. And this is not the best smelling product in the world, but it works. And Bill and Randy at Mac and Prowler have used this many times on several different rifle projects that they've had. And as a matter of fact, very recently, Prowler's son had some guns damaged in a house fire. Prowler went through and did a whole segment on cleaning those guns out with the Q20 Blue. And I've used it just on all of my rifles that I own currently, just to keep the sheen in there, just to make sure the rust stays off of there. This is a great preservative and lubricant and rust preventer. So you want to use a good product like the Q-Max Blue 20 on Q20 Blue, and to keep your rifles completely clean and free of rust. And if you've got surface rust, you can just take maybe a real thin steel wool, such as maybe a triple-aught or quadruple-aught, and shine that down a little bit, and you'll get rid of some of the surface rust. But use a product like this to take all that off and make sure that you do a finish coat of this. You don't want to go too heavy on anything like this either. As I've said in a previous segment on buying a used rifle, you're going to run into some guns that are going to have some kind of inletting wear because the rifle's been over oiled, and you'll see dark spots in rifle stocks for that reason. You do not want to over oil. Just a small coat and just a real light coat. They almost say like a micrometer. Very, very small, thin coat of this type of preservative and lubricant is going to be what you need. Gun oil, if you will, is going to be what you need to kind of get over that firearm in that regard. So basically, you just want to take care of your guns. You want to make sure that they are preserved. You want to make sure that they are rust-free and that they work well. A clean gun is a happy gun. And another thing that you can do is make sure that your action area is clean. And using a product like Gun Scrubber or Break Free or any of those kind of products that have a little nozzle like this, where you can just attach it on there and squirt it into the action of a semi-automatic, especially in that regard, of where you can't open up the bolt like you can a bolt action and get into there and get all that gunk out of there. It's going to make sure that your guns do not malfunction in the woods when it comes to being able to fire them over and over again and make sure that your guns are working properly and safely as well. Clean gun's a happy gun, and one thing that most people know me for is making sure that I have very, very clean guns. Every time I come home from the gun range, those guns go directly outside and I clean them and I take care of them and I oil them up and I put them away. That's the way things work in my household, because anybody that knows me knows that I take impeccable care of my guns, and you won't find a lot of rust and wear and pitting and dirty bores and that kind of stuff, because I take good care of my rifles. And I invite you to do the same, because again, these are heritage. These are our pastime. This is a way to pass this on to your kids and grandchildren and so on and so forth. And firearms these days are designed to last for generations. And what you really want to do is take care of those things and make sure that they really do turn in to an heirloom, much like this rifle right here. For this segment of Gun Tales, I'm Dustin Warnke. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching us today, and shoot straight.